Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Sunday, June 12th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am here to go over today's MLB Main Slate. It starts at 1:35 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be covering the main slate for Draftkings Fanduel Yahoo and Prizepicks. And we're going to do a synopsis of today's plays, give you some pay ups, some fades, some stacks, all the important stuff that you need to begin your lineups for today. If you'd like more information and you want to join us here at Coach Talk, you can go to dfscoachtalk.com and sign up with any of our plans there. We have as little as a 3-day plan membership for $10. And you can check out everything we've got. You get all of our MLB, NBA, PGA, NASCAR, MMA. We supply lineups for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo. And on DraftKings, we do a core group and a clipboard. So you're going to get everything that you'd like DFS-wise by joining DFS Coach Talk. If you want to check us out on Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk, and I am at Joe Sarvati, JoeSarvadi. All right, we are, if you're watching on YouTube right now, give us that quick thumbs up. We really appreciate that. That helps us move up the algorithm on the searches on YouTube, and that's much appreciated. Subscribe there in the lower right corner, and also in the top corner, you have an opportunity to click that little alarm. That will alert you when any of our podcasts post, and we are posting 7 days a week for all of our sports. All right, let's dive into baseball and get you ready for this early slate. Again, it's a 1:35 slate. The weather looks pretty darn good across the board in all these games. The only concern I have that I'll be keeping a close eye on is the Chicago Cubs at the New York Yankees. It looks like they're going to get some rain in New York, whether it be during the game and there's a delay, we'll see, or if it moves in early, they may start late. So that's the one game we'll be watching very closely, and we'll be posting updates on that in Discord and on Twitter as well. Other than that, though, I think we're free to go with all the rest of the games, which definitely makes it a lot easier getting the lineups together. All right, let's start off with our pay up pitcher for today. And it's no mystery. It's no hot take. It's no nothing. It's just Justin Verlander. The bottom line is, he's coming off a 60 burger plus the last time. He's the old Justin Verlander. He's had a few games where he's given up a few bombs, but this matchup is just too good to pass up. So I'm going to completely bite the bullet, pay up for the most expensive pitcher here, and just hope he gives me that 50 to 60 upside like we know that he can when he's pitching well. I love the matchup here. It's against Miami, and Miami strikes out the 10th most of anybody in Major League Baseball, so that should really fit right into Verlander's game plan here. Also, the tough part, though, we'll face it here. The price is rough. 10-5 on DraftKings, 10-9 on FanDuel, and a big 53 on Yahoo. So, the key factor, if you're going to go with Verlander, is finding a solid SP2 that you're confident in that can bring that cost down. It's going to be very hard to get up to a guy like Kyle Wright, for example, when you're going with Verlander. So for me, I found what I'm going to call my value pitcher today, and that's Mr. Jeffrey Springs. I think he's in a really good spot here, and his price is right. It's at Tampa, but Springs is really pitched well. He's a lefty, so he's going to cause some difficulty for those Minnesota bats. And he's done really well. I mean, he's ramped up on innings, 5-6 innings, pretty much every outing. And he's been very stingy giving up earned runs. And I like his strikeout count. He had 5 against a really difficult team to strike out in St. Louis. He had 7 against Texas, 6 against the Yankees, 7 against Baltimore. So he is striking out guys, which we know is extremely important in DFS. So if he can give us a good 6 quality innings with 6, 7 strikeouts, I think he's going to be a perfect fit. He's not going to break the slate for you, but he's been steady as a rock. His fantasy point output recently 19, 18, 19, 28. So, I mean, he's getting it done, and I think he's a perfect complement to Mr. Verlander. So we are going to go with Jeffrey Springs as our value pitcher. The guy that I'm going to fade today, I don't understand why his price is so high, and that's Graham Ashcraft. I know he's expected to be an up-and-comer, good pitcher, hot organization guy. He pitched terrific against Arizona, pitched really well against Washington, but are those two really big threats is the question. We'll see. I know Ashcraft has a lot of people that like him in the industry, and I think he's going to get ownership even at his expensive price of 9.6 on DraftKings, but I'm going to fade him. A couple of reasons why. It's against St. Louis again, and St. Louis is just so difficult to strike out, and they're very they go with pitches, they take what they're given, they'll go opposite field. They're just scrappy, and the fact that Ashcraft has not really turned into a strikeout pitcher in the MLB yet, he may be long-term. He had some good numbers in the minors, but, last 4 games, strikeouts, 4, 5, 1, and 3. So that factor that he's so expensive, that his strikeout numbers aren't great, and he's playing at St. Louis against a really tough to get out St. Louis team. So Graham Ashcraft, although I do appreciate his ability and long-term possibility of success, people are going to see that 3-0 with a 1.14 ERA, and they're going to be oohing and awing. But remember, Arizona and Washington, last 2 teams, not exactly juggernauts offensively, and only 13 Ks in that time frame too. So again, reasons for me to not go that direction. And I do think he's going to grab some ownership. All right, let's go to the hitting side of things here. My BVP play today, and again, we believe in that here at Coach Talk, even in small sample sizes, it definitely has a tendency to show out and be consistent for us. Here, a guy I like to pick on, and there was a guy that I considered as my fade, is Robbie Ray. Again, his inconsistency is not something I want to mess with, so I'm certainly not going to have any shares of Robbie Ray. But my BVP play is Trevor Story. He's absolutely been awesome against him. He's faced him 30 times, so he's seen him. He's got 9 hits, 4 of those are for extra bases. In fact, all 4 are home runs. He's driven in 8, and he's walked 10 times. And that's something that I really like to see. Guy batting right around that 300 mark against somebody with power, and he's taking walks, a 1.175 OPS, a 700 slugging, 475 on OBP, and that 300 average. So Trevor Story will be my BVP strong play today. For my HR play, I'm going to go to a guy that, isn't as obvious as a pick as he usually is, because he hasn't shown a ton of power in the last month. In fact, he had a bit of a slump there for a while, and that is one Mr. Mike Trout. Love the spot today. Another guy that I'm not a big fan of is Tajon Walker, another guy that gets a decent amount of ownership. But I just think Trout, now that he's got Rendon back in that lineup, and the Angels, now have, they have some formidable bats. I think Trout relaxes a little bit. He has broken out. He had a home run a couple games ago. And I'm going to take him as my HR pick against Tajon Walker and the Mets. He's only faced him 16 times, but 10 of those are for hits. So he's batting a cool 625, not bad. 4 extra base hits, 3 of them are homers, 6 RBIs. Again, a staggering 625. So he's definitely seeing the ball against Walker. And Walker cannot pitch around him with Shohei and Rendon and a bunch of these bats. He's going to have to face him. And the fact that Trout hasn't exactly been red hot, I think he challenges him here. And I think Trout makes him pay. So that's where we're going to go for BVP. All right, before we jump to stacks real quickly, I want to thank our presenting sponsor, and that is Prizepicks. If you have not tried Prizepicks yet, I do not know what you're waiting for. They have a selection of great prop plays in pretty much all sports. Just go to prizepicks.com, sign up with the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, no space. If it's your first deposit, they'll match you $1 for $1 on that first $100 deposit. So take advantage of that for sure. I have a few Prizepicks plays that we'll give you right after stacks that you could start building some winners on Prizepicks today. So thank you again to Prizepicks for their sponsorship. And let's move on to stacks. First stack that I'm going to go with is the Philadelphia Phillies. And I'm going to get to that screen and I'll explain a little bit what I like about that one. Philadelphia is playing a 135 game. They're going against Mr. Luke Weaver, who I'm a little surprised is still in the major leagues. And he, I would assume he's going to probably play the role of starter. I don't think he's going to go super long by any stretch. But that whole, that bullpen's not great. He's just not somebody that I'm expecting to do well in this situation. And the Philly bats are hot, and they've got some bats that have hit Weaver in the past, including, really the top of that group. Now, granted, they're expensive, so you got to figure out exactly how you want to do that. You're not going to get a full Philly stack if you use Verlander, but if you want to go down with pitching, you can get this group of Schwarber, Hoskins, Harper, Castellanos, Real Muto, those top 5. But I'm not afraid to go at the bottom of this group either. I like 6 through 9 even. Gregorius, Bohm, Stott, who's shown some ability, and Moniak, who's also had a few key hits for him. So the guys at the bottom haven't seen Weaver, but the guys at the top have, and they've hit him. Harper's 2 for 2 against him. Schwarber's 4 for 13. Hoskins 2 for 6. Again, small sample size, but these guys have hit him. They've walked against him, and he really doesn't have much, and I'm not thrilled with that bullpen. So a nice, stack of Philly if you want to do a mini, like 2-3 guys, or you can go, like a Hoskins, Harper, Bohm, Stott, and, stay within reason price-wise, break up the stack a little bit. Or if you want to, get even more, give yourself a little bit different, more contrarian look, you can go like a Moniak, Schwarber, Hoskins, a bit of a wraparound. But I do think Philly scores some runs here, with Weaver and the bullpen, just not expecting a lot from that staff. So I think Philly's a really good play today. It's in Philly. It's warmer. I think that's going to be a nice game for them. My second stack that I'll give you is Tampa Bay. Hopefully they're going to back up Jeffrey Springs really well here. And I like to pick on this young man, Cole Sands. He's 0-2 with an 849. So, yeah, he's a baby yet, but just looking back at his numbers in the minors even, I'm just not that impressed. He had 52 innings at A+ ball and gave up 13 earned runs and then worked his way up the system. But even in AAA, where he pitched 18 innings, he gave up 15 earned runs. So, I know he's got some strikeout potential, but I'm just not seeing it. And in his last multiple games here, he gave up 4 earned to the Yanks, which is not that bad, but 4 earned to Detroit isn't a good outing. and just not seeing it here for him. I think that this is just a rough matchup, and I want to pick on it. And Tampa's hitting the ball. They're 34-25. They're a scrappy team. They've got a nice balance of, veterans and rookies. The top of that order, these guys know how to hit. Kiermaier, lefty against Sands is a nice play. Margot, Diaz, Troy, who's always very dangerous against righties. He went deep for me the other day as a real contrarian play. And then Ramirez, a Rosarena, who they've dropped down to 6th because he hasn't been hitting. I think he'll hit and get back up in that order. And then even the bottom of the lineup, you can mess with there. They're not going to hurt you. They're all capable hitters. So I think you can go deep in both of those stacks today with both Philadelphia and Tampa. All right, let's finish up with our prize picks plays of the day. I'm going to give you 2 here, and then I'll probably release one more on Twitter. Again, you can catch us at DFS Coach Talk, and certainly have 2 or 3 more in Discord for our members. Again, if you want to become a member, there's no better time than now. Check us out, $10, you can't beat it. No pressure here. You just jump in, you get everything we've got, try us out. We also offer one-on-one, skull session, we call them, with new members, with either myself or Crash or Deb or one of our pros here at Coach Talk. And that's included in your membership. And we really like to go over contest selection. That seems to be a big part of issues for a lot of our members. And once they get those 2 areas of bankroll management with contest selection, those 2 areas make a huge difference in becoming very consistent in DFS long term. And that's what we're all shooting for here for sure. All right, the 2 picks. First, from the hitting side, my BVP play, my home run call, which is Mike Trout, is going to be the guy I'm going to go to. He has an over fantasy hitting score of 8, and feel very comfortable with his spot in the order, him being on the bases, the guys knocking him in. I think he can get to 8 pretty easily against a pitcher that I'm in Walker that I'm not afraid of. So really like that choice. And then from the pitching side, I think it's a very fair number. I'm going to go with Mr. Jeffrey Springs in that game versus Minnesota. I think that, he's in a good spot here. I'm going to take over pitcher fantasy score 30.5. And again, I just think that he'll get enough strikeouts to get to that number. He'll go deep enough. And, again, you've got Minnesota, who's the 9th team with the 9th most strikeouts per game as a team. So he's got a great opportunity there to get a quality start, win, and certainly get to that 30.5 number. All right, my friends, that is it in a nutshell. We've got all kinds of great stuff coming up. If you're with us, a member, we've got awesome sweats in the PGA today. The RBC Canadian Open, we're up in the top 2 or 3% for the tournament. We also have some shots with our weekend only. And then we are releasing here in a short time, 4th round matchup. So if you want to jump in and become a member, you'll have access to that. And that 4th round doesn't start until 10:30 a.m. Eastern. So you've got time to get in that. Also, we're getting ready for basketball again tomorrow. A huge game in Golden State, or in Boston, I'm sorry, with Boston it's 2-2 at this point. So another great game coming up in Golden State to see who's going to go up 3-2 in this phenomenal series that looks like it's going 7. That's for sure. So we'll be covering those. We also have our man, Mike S., who's our stud NASCAR guy. Got me a winning lineup last week. It was a lot of fun too. So if you want to jump in with NASCAR today, that's another spot we'll be posting. So thanks so much for spending this time with me. I hope you have a great Sunday. Enjoy family, rest, fun, sports, whatever you've got going. Enjoy it. And we'll certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, PGA, NBA, NASCAR, you name it, we've got it. But we'll be looking to crush it all here at Coach Talk tomorrow. So thanks for joining me. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.